Hello. 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 And welcome to Reflections, episode
15.
Thank you. 15, Zion Part 3. Can't lose track. Nobody lose track. So I've said a lot about this one already, so I'm going to go ahead and play it.
Dive in?
Let's go.
So you do the chains go all the way up?
Yes.
A lot of people?
Yeah, it was not bad coming back, but there was a lot of people while we were going up.
What time did you go? So this is the other side of Angel's Landing, still in the shade. I guess a little bit of sun on the peak. And this ridge section here, that's the chains.
So on our way to the Narrows, we were actually taking the bus because unlike Angel's Landing and Sandbench, which is kind of fun that it was continued
Right.
into this one, it was impractical to walk there because it's a free bus system. So while on the bus, somebody was talking about Angel's Landing and somehow you got in a conversation with some people.
Yeah, sometimes I get pulled into conversations.
And so you were just answering questions about what we did yesterday, which is kind of cool. But this isn't about Angel's Landing anymore. It's now about the Narrows. But that's why the intro, the episode 15 title is a little later.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, you get to see Angel's Landing as you drive to the
Narrows.
Narrows. Yeah. And here we go. Have I mentioned this narrow adventure thing before?
Yeah.
Just kidding. But that's why, for context, it's called the Narrow Adventure because I came here 4 years ago without Heather. Now we're back. This is a big moment. I'm very excited to finally be showing this video.
If you want more context, watch The Narrow Adventure, which is a separate video on our channel.
Yep. Are you excited?
Yeah. No further elaboration.
Yep. I'm the one who talks a lot, but anyways, the way there is very beautiful too, just from the parking lot to the actual Narrows. So
Yeah, some people do that, and don't necessarily do the Narrows because in November you would need gear to get into the water really. And so a lot of people just walk down to the Narrows because it's beautiful to see, even just kind of from the shore. But in my opinion, it's way better to go into it. I would highly recommend.
Yep. Oh yeah, because that's what the pants and the walking stick is. You can rent out stuff because it's like Heather mentioned, in November it's very cold. There's no sunlight really that hits that water, and it's It's pretty chilly, but we did that because
Yeah. That's why you can hear our pants rubbing together.
yeah. But that explains the pants and the
Yeah.
shoes and the steak.
Are you gonna keep that
Huh?
out? Are you gonna keep that
Keep that on.
out? Keep it out?
Where do you want me to put it? Asking me to put away the camera before we walk in. And I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying right now.
Yeah, I was like, what if you get the camera wet? Because you did have like a dry bag on, so you could keep stuff in there. But yeah, I guess that would have not got us very far with this if you hadn't have ignored me. But I was worried about getting wet.
Yeah. Yeah. There would be no perspectives, only reflections.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't be watching anything.
Yeah.
But yes, these are our first steps.
Was that the end?
That was it. We made it to the Narrows. Heather? I was either asking you to say something or come to me or say, I don't know what that was, but you were just look back and
I was like, okay, I'll slow down then.
yeah, you just kept. Well, that's good. You were
Catch up.
Sorry.
It's okay.
That's good. You were excited though.
Yeah, I was ready to see what this was all about because you'd hyped it up for 4 years. Yeah.
And here's my little speech. I didn't edit this at all because I like the little bit of awkwardness that's in
Yeah.
this. Four years ago, around this time of year, I decided to turn around at this spot to come with somebody and share this experience alone. Wait, share this experience with somebody else.
Was it somebody special?
4 years ago, I came to this spot and I turned around because I wanted to share this moment with somebody special. And that somebody's here with us right now. Was it worth it? Sure.
Sure.
Is it really cold? Yes. There it is.
Yep. 4 years.
Not just anybody. I mean, you know, like if it was just anybody, it would have been much easier to just kind of not like try as hard to. We were dating at the time
Yeah, when you went.
when I went the first time, and it's just pretty incredible, I think, for me as a personal achievement. I think, and relationship wise too.
Right.
It's just really cool to see something and then say, I want this to happen with Heather. And then it happens.
Yeah. Well, and like, I mean, I've said this kind of already before, but like, when you told me 4 years before this that you turned around because you were like, I want to come back with you, I was like, that's great, but I didn't even know that was a possibility. Like, I'd barely even left Texas, much less like somewhere like this. And so I didn't even really comprehend that possibility at the time that you were telling me that. And then so, yeah, this moment was pretty like special for me too, because I was like, oh, we're like here. This is happening. Like, you've made this happen 4 years later, but it was worth the wait.
We also planned it.
I did. Well,
So-
that was like one of the reasons. I mean, this was like our second trip together, really ever.
Like big out of
Big trip, yeah. Like other than camping,
Yeah.
when we had first started this or whatever. But this was our second trip, so I was like, oh, we should like do Zion because that's been, you know, on our minds for a really long time. Mm-hmm. And then it was the same time of year that you had gone, the 4 years before that, and so, yeah. Anyway, special. So
You're a much better planner
yeah.
than I am. Like, I need you to plan this.
I guess I did help get us there.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I mean. It's like the idea,
Was you
but then you were the one that's,
got to make it happen?
yeah, because it's a different language for me.
Right? Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
anyways,
Well, and like when you went the 4 years before this, you didn't have any gear or anything. Like you weren't prepared to really go into the Narrows, but you would have done it anyways because you were like, you know, 21, just like didn't really, you know, care or whatever about things like that. But I was like, no, we need gear if I'm really going to be like in there. The water's very cold, and if we want to go far into it and not just like wait at the shore, then, you know, so... Anyways, that's where I come into play.
yeah, very good. Very good teamwork here. It's what you're seeing on display.
Yes.
A lot of water. I don't know. I think just sitting with this is, for me, good. You just kind of
it
understand.
in.
Yeah. Also, I paused right here too because I don't know if the water is actually.
Right.
Like-
Like, are they sitting on their knees or something, or is it really that deep right there? Because they're like up to their shoulders.
Well, the stick is. I guess you can measure it with this
yeah.
stick,
It probably is that deep then, because the stick is.
I don't know.
That one stick, yeah.
but it.
I don't know. It gets deep here.
Yeah.
So like before, we were kind of just like walking through, which is difficult in its own. Like you're walking on slippery rocks the entire time. It's very hard. Like you're just taking little steps at a time. It takes a long time to like get anywhere, and the water is flowing, and so like against you, or maybe with you, but even so, like it's pushing you. So it was like really kind of difficult to walk through it, and then yeah, in some places it gets kind of deep, and then like these people that are like up to their, you know, shoulders have like full gear on. Like I guess they had like a bodysuit, but we just had pants. So
But then this lady in front of me is like up to her hip. It's just really weird. I don't know. There was one spot that we found which was very deep, but we
Yeah.
didn't know how deep it was moving through this particular spot. And then it's really shallow later. But
Yeah.
this spot is weird.
yeah, and like it was less deep on the other side, but also the people were like taking forever
Yeah.
to go, and I didn't really want to like go over there. And so we were
Yeah.
trying to make it work on this side,
Yeah. You can't see.
even though it's probably deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we go. Here's how Heather handled it.
Careful, Charlie.
Getting close.
Hey, let him do it. Let him do it.
Yeah, no, mine fills up with air.
Yeah, that's okay.
Sorry.
I said I'm walking on my toes. Oh, it's getting close. Does it get lower?
It gets higher.
It looks like it's to your hips, and
Oh.
I'm shorter than you. So,
You're going to have to go through.
Just go, man. Just go.
What way?
Oh.
Like, look at where you are.
Yeah, so that was like almost a turnaround time because I didn't want to be wet, like submerged in it, because the rest of the time I'm going to be miserable because it's very cold, and then now your clothes are cold and you can't get like warm again.
And I couldn't say whether or not it got deeper,
Yeah.
like up ahead. I don't know.
Yeah. So you like carried me over because I was like, I don't know what to do because I'm way shorter than you and it's gonna submerge, like it's gonna go in my pants.
Yeah.
And so you like came over. That's why the camera like turns off, because you came over and kind of like carried me over. But anyways,
We still got a little wet.
I still
but-
got a little wet. Yeah.
It got in my britches.
Yeah, we just ran into a bit of trouble back there.
I'm vertically challenged, so
It was pretty high up. It got down our pants. But I mean, look. Yeah, so worth it or no?
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay, good. How you doing?
I'm okay. This feels like. No, I'm not gonna say that on camera.
I'm still not gonna say it.
Slow going,
Yeah, it was very slow.
even though that's in slow motion.
Like every step
Yeah.
has to be calculated. I did fall like a couple of times. Not like super bad, but I fell on my butt once at least. And then like stumbled quite a few times, but
Yeah.
still worth it.
Yeah. Like we even stopped to eat.
Yeah, that's how long it like goes on for. Yeah.
Because even when you step on a rock, just like that shot, it still will shift and move. And so you're, even if it feels stable at first, once you put your full weight on it, it'll,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Move around.
and so the stick, I like this shot. This shows, I think, being tired.
Yeah, I was tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the day before, well, I guess I say that in the video too, but we'd hiked like 2 trails the day before. So we were tired.
I thought it was almost the end. You gonna keep going? There he is. Just to get, I guess you don't really need motivation really to keep going in any sort of situation that's difficult, especially when it's like, is there an end to this? But
Yeah, because the Narrows is like 16 miles. Like you can go really far into it. Like people go and camp overnight. But we didn't. It's like one of those things where I knew that we weren't going to go the whole thing, because there is like a part where you basically like have to swim. But it's like, when do you turn around? You know, what if you don't see what's around the corner? And yeah, and so
we just followed this fella.
I do remember, like, we both, like, noticed him because it was like he would land and then he would, like, go, and then he would land and he would, like, go. So it did feel like we were, like, going down the river, like, with him at a certain point. And I remember, like, talking about it and, like, noticing it together. And it's something that it's not like I recalled that just when I think of, like, our time in the Narrows, because honestly you only remember like some of the details of it, but then in seeing this, it just like ignited like all these extra memories of yeah, but we did use it as like kind of our own little external motivation to keep going, because we were just like having fun with it, like, oh well, he's still going, so we keep going.
Well, he also land, and then we'd get really close to him, and then
you
he
take
would
off a
land,
little further.
yeah. So yeah, it was
It
cool.
was a little weird. It was fun.
Yeah. But then we actually got to a narrow point, and there was way less people, and it was obviously the way it is. This part of, do you want to keep going, when we asked the significance of the bird and everything, it's because this part just kind of enhances
The experience. Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
looking at the
absolutely.
footage. But yeah, it's actually really narrow.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, really cool. Here it is. Funny thing about this shot is I was so far away, and looking through the camera, there was somebody who was dressed exactly like you walking by. And so there's a shot, I'll show it, of me following them, and I was like, wait a minute, that's not Heather. So then I waited, and I was like, oh, there you are.
Yeah.
But it was really weird because they had the same like beanie and jacket. It was pretty funny.
That is funny.
But yeah, I'll show it, and it'll be interesting to see that that's
My doppelganger.
something. been doing this a while. So you're making sure your pants stay up this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
But like this is like an example. Like the further you go, it was like the more magical you got. Like I mean, I don't quite remember like how far exactly we went. I know we basically went to the this part that's like almost like a wall or something to go through. Like you have to go through
It's like
the water.
some kind of climb, and it was deep. Yeah. it
Yeah,
was-
like you're gonna be wet. Like
Yeah.
unless you're wearing the full body stuff,
Yeah.
you're gonna be submerged. And so we kind of didn't plan to go past that. But honestly, we didn't even plan to go this far. But it was like I just couldn't. It was really hard to turn around
Yeah.
because it was just at like every corner you turned, it would just like change a little bit, and just like the towering canyon walls, like it was just. And then like the less people were around, like the more, I don't know, just like in everything you felt the further you went. But also you're in danger of getting wet the whole time.
Right. We've been doing this a while, and I'm kind of cold and tired.
But it is beautiful.
It is beautiful, but
But I'm cold and tired.
we did do like 13 miles, 12
12 miles.
miles yesterday. So
Angel's Landing.
yeah, our bodies are only human. So it was me that gave up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want it to be me. Like, I don't know, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to be me. But it did feel right to turn around then. Like, I wasn't, like, upset about it, but I just, especially because, like, you had waited to do that for 4 years, like, with me. So I didn't want to be, like, you know, half a mile in and be like, well, let's turn around. Like, the part where, you know, I got my britches wet. I didn't want that to be the end, but I'm also kind of like seeing I'm gauging your vibe. Like, are we gonna keep going? And then you're like, it's up to you. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna keep going. But yeah, anyways, it was time to turn around
Yeah.
here, but it was hard to turn around. But then you turn around and you see it all again, but from a different perspective. And so, I don't know, that was pretty cool too.
Yeah. This is my tired, happy face here. So, would be nice to come back here in the summer or something. That kiss was your idea too.
Yeah, well, I think I felt like you'd earned it, because the normal, you know, I mean, at this point, I still wasn't like super into being on the camera. I don't know. Well, I'm sure that's like how I was feeling too, because I was like, that's really like sweet and special to have like shared that moment with you, and I don't know.
It was nice.
Yes, yeah.
And then the deer. We end every episode with a nice little montage of deer. So, yeah. And that's
that. That's the Narrows.
That was pretty quick by our standards, I think, because I mean, this one is just like, it just is what it is. It's cool.
And there's a
Yeah.
lot less talking in this one, in this episode too, because I think, yeah, we were like tired, but also just like really taking everything in. Like, I knew you were doing your thing and like getting cool footage and doing what you wanted to do, but I was like, I want to do what I want to do too, and like I want to see everything and really like take it in. So a lot of times I wasn't even really close to like the camera. Like, I'll wander off by myself or whatever. But it was cool to like have experienced that, like in some ways, like we experienced it in our own ways, but then also to have that experience together.
Just like right now.
I guess so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll explain the deer later.
And the next one would be
Maybe.
okay.
I think so. Later.
Oh yeah.
Not right now.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that I
Got deer like every single day.
every night. I just went around and just looked at them, and it was pretty cool.
I definitely remembered like seeing them the first day that we were there, and then the first morning, and then of course I remember like the Thanksgiving evening deer.
The last day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize that we'd like seen them all the time, the whole time.
It's cool. Nice to be out in nature, isn't it? It's kind of cool.
Yeah, but I mean, this one, like the vibe is very like just chill and beautiful, and the music is powerful, like that goes along with it. But it's mostly just like for like us to enjoy, for maybe other people to enjoy, because that is a really cool and special, beautiful place, you know, that I think deserves a lot of screen time.
The more people that talk about it, the better. Probably. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? I'm pretty much.
Yeah.
That was it. I've said it. I've said it all.
I know. Yeah. I was like, you finally got to this part of it.
I know. And this
So
is
how does it feel?
great. I mean, I've hyped this one up, but then there's like 3 more years to go. It's like if
Yeah,
I was
that's
wondering,
true.
like, if we would have just done this and then be like, yeah, it was good.
The end. You
Then-
know. Yeah.
But there's like, but there's more than one national park. There is other things. This was kind of like the threshold.
Yeah. Like our first. This was our first like big trip, like with like go there, do that.
Yeah.
Like calling it go there, do that. And everything. So
It's the first time we called it that.
no, I mean like our
Oh, the
first
vibe?
big trip. Like we'd been to the only other big trip that we'd taken was to Alaska in 2019, but that was before
We like
we
thought of
yeah
like documenting and
yeah.
yeah.
So this is like the
Wow.
start of some of the bigger things,
I feel like this.
more adventurous things, because also this was like I planned Alaska, but like
that was a cruise.
It was a cruise.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
that's what I mean.
It
Yeah.
was pretty low stakes. It was great for me to start that way because it was a lot easier. But this was my first one where I like really planned everything about the trip. And so it was a good like starter. Zion's kind of like a smaller park, so you can see a lot of it in a handful of days or whatever.
Yes.
But it was, a great start to lots more adventures. But it'll always have a special place, that's for sure.
Yeah, because when you say our second trip, I was thinking a cruise is very structured for you. This is we're still in the park. It's still structured, but yeah, we can walk around and just see it is all kind of
You don't
compact.
have to be back on the ship by 3.
No.
You know? Yeah.
So that was, we do kind of evolve with each, because it's a personally planned itinerary by you. And that's, I think, what makes this so,
Apart from Angel's Landing, I did not plan that.
well,
That was not on the itinerary, but we snuck it in.
but I think that's what makes these trips so efficient is it's like, well, we're going to do this thing one day and this thing another day. But if we have time, we'll do another thing. But we're at least doing highlights
Yeah.
of the parks that we go to because they're planned so well.
Yeah.
Because I think that was a part of being on trips that are less thought out and planned. And it's just kind of like, well, we have like 2 hours at this place. And it's like, well, all we're going to do
What are you going to do?
is drive around. And
Yeah.
so now it is kind of good, especially when you have equipment and stuff if you plan to record it. It's like, well, how do I have time for this too? But I was
Yeah,
taking a
that's
big
true.
risk with the camera. I didn't have strap for walking through the Narrows. I saw
Are you serious? That's probably why I asked if you were putting it away.
because I saw
goodness.
it on the GoPro footage of me filming
Yeah.
the deer. I turned around and I was just like hand holding it the whole time.
Oh my gosh.
It worked.
It did. Yeah.
How
It
silly.
worked out. Yeah.
Doesn't seem so silly now.
Mm-hmm.
It only seemed silly before. But anyways, that's just how the cookie crumbles.
Yep. All right. That's it. I'm ready for dinner.
Thanks. We'll see you later. See you next time. Bye.